Hi everybody, welcome to G for G here on YouTube. Today we're taking a look at a game that is not yet back in the United States, and it is named Chronoblade. It is made or produced by Netmarble, the people who are doing Marvel Future Fight and just recently brought out Marvel Contest of Champions. So, you might be wondering, well, what do you mean coming back to the United States? What's happening here, Napalm? Well, Chronoblade used to be a Facebook game way back in the day. It was a fun little game that I think even predated Marvel Avengers Alliance. So I'm just going to go to my YouTube really quick over here. And the game's going to get a little scratchy because it's loading up my Chrome over here. So I've got this up in another monitor, and I'm just going to search my YouTube account to find out when I was first doing videos on this. I'm thinking the last time this game was playable was maybe 2012, maybe 2011. So, let's see. Let's try this one word. Actually 3 years ago. Wow. I did a video on this 3 years ago. Let me take a look. July 9th, 2013. So this did come after Marvel Avengers Alliance was around. It was a Facebook game. This is a action game or beat 'em up. It's like Double Dragon or Final Fight or Fatal Fury, I guess. It is a side-scrolling level game. I mean, this easily could have been an arcade, other than the fact that there are RPG elements to it. So it used to be on Facebook. It was around for a little while, and then the dev pulled it, and they said they were going offline and it was going to be back. And nothing had been heard of the game in a really long time. Well, it has now just started to come back in other countries, similar to how DC Legends was available, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2 was available in other countries, and then it will be coming to the States. There does seem to be a pre-registration event going on now. So if you search the web for Chronoblade, you will eventually come to their website and you can pre-register for it. And when you do, I believe you get something dedicated towards one of the other heroes that is not the guy that you are seeing right now. So this is one of the characters over here, and he is the starter. And basically, when you get to a certain point in the game, it used to be that you would unlock another one. Create a level 5 hero. So it used to be, when it was on Facebook, that there were two different characters in the game. There was him, and there was a little dude that is not actually a dude, it was a girl, but you couldn't really tell because she was hooded, and the name, is not something that gives away the sex, and then you find out she's a girl, and she's quicker than Orok, faster with her attacks, and she has a little bit more range, whereas he's like a straight-up melee fighter. So the game, of course, does have a cash shop. Not quite really a shop that existed back in the Facebook version of it, but, it's Netmarble, so you can see some stuff now. Here is 100 crystals for under $1, 550 for under 5, 1200 for under 10, and its biggest, which looks like a sea urchin, is 14.5 for under $90. The prices seem decent. You also have these vanity costumes here. So the price of a costume we see is $12.50. And that would be a little bit more. That'd be about $10 per costume. So he's got Santa, he's got a Frankenstein's monster, and a gigantic knight. Here's a VIP package similar to Marvel Future Fight. It comes in as under $10, and you know it's your sub basically. And there's a one-time growth of only 2.51. How you receive the following benefits on initial purchase: get 250 crystals. Get 250 crystals when you reach level 25. Wow, so that one seems pretty good. Both of these are reasonable. You may want to hold off getting them until this game is fully released, just to prevent against a wipe. But at least you'll know what's coming. So here you have a daily login that you can get. And as you can see, now it'll cost money, but it was free. Here's a much better chest. And it goes on a 72-hour cooldown, or pay crystals, and a really, really good chest with another 72 hours. So taking a look at my inventory over here, these gloves are much, much better than what I have, but they're going to break a little bit of a set, but that is perfectly okay. Similar to Tai Chi Panda, you have just an overall might stat, and that's what just went up over there. It's kind of a overall reflection of how strong your character is based on his weapons and his armor. When you have excess weapon, you want to go, or excess gear, you go ahead and hit salvage. And you'll get some money, and you'll get some ore and everything like that. That in turn can be used to power something up. So I can go over to my armor over here, I can hit power up, and it costs me a little bit of gold. As you can see, the might stat goes up a little bit. You can also multi-power it. And again, that might stat is going up a bit over here. So I think one of the best things you can do is to have some decent weapon power-ups. That's probably where you want to go ahead and throw some money early on, is just killing things quicker. And anything you can do to get decent weapons, that's probably a really good way to go. This rune area, I'm not really too sure how this rune holds within itself to increase the skill attack by 109 when equipped. Aha, so that's finally working. So this is, you know, similar to like gems in certain games. It's not exactly a skill tree, that's somewhere else. That's down over here with skills. And, you know, this is similar to any action RPG you've seen, like a Diablo or a Devilian, anything like that. Grim Dawn over on Steam, very, very similar to that kind of a setup. You have some passives, but then you also have some active abilities. Your actives will be squares. Your passives will be circles. So for this, my armor goes up. For this, I get a skill called Stone Splitter. And for this, I get a skill called Ore Eruption. Quest, you want to check this every day because you will get this daily login and everything. I do think you need to maintain straight days in order to get this stuff. If you skip a day, I do believe it resets. Also, you get things for going through your quests and whatnot. So in order to get out in the world, you go to Adventure. We're going on an adventure! And here's what I did in World 1. Pretty much everything was 3-starred instead of 2 of them. Except for 2 of them. This might be a little tough using an Android emulator. when it was on Facebook is basically your arrow keys moved and your left click was an attack, your right click was a block, and then you had... Well, there's a heavy attack in there somewhere. You had a heavy attack, a light attack, a jump, a block, and then you had your abilities. It's going to be very, very interesting. This might not work with an Android emulator, but we'll find out. Now that it's a touchscreen game, is basically tapping does your movement, and there are certain regions of the screen that do your light attacks and your heavy attacks and your jumps and everything like that. So of course everything is on screen and visual, and it's tap based. Yeah, this is not going to be really playable over here because I have to tap for movement and tap for abilities too. Oh, okay, no, keyboard's working. Awesome. So keyboard is doing my movement. Now I just have to tap my abilities. So this is a quick attack that sets up a chain. That's your jump, that's your block, and that's your heavy attack. And basically everything about this game is designed around combos. And that when that H appears, that restores your hit points. You get that at around 10 on your combo. So the goal of this game, when you go through the levels, is to hit as much as you can without being hit, because then that breaks your chain. Going flat and hitting things for a few seconds won't break the chain. As you can see here, I'm still hanging at 8. It's getting hit that does it. And similar to Double Dragon, if you were old enough to have played it in the arcade and everything, your in and out, basically your up and down, is what really will save you from getting hit. When you hit that health restoring purple stomp, your combos do stop. You essentially consume your combo meter. You cash out of your combo meter and get a bit of a heal. So I am happy to report that this is very much playable on an Android emulator. In order to play this now, you may want to Google Chronoblade APK, and you will come up to some sites that have it. APK Pure might be the site that's hosting a valid version of it now. I thought for a little while people were able to find the APK, but complaining that it was all in Japanese or another Asian language, but this has worked perfectly fine for me in English. So I'm happy this game is coming back. It was fun on Facebook. It was the most action-oriented game I had ever played on Facebook, because at the time it was like Cafe World and Farmville and other things like Farmville and, you know, Candy Crush and Marvel Avengers Alliance, which is a great RPG, obviously, but not action. This game is actually just straight up action, and it does translate very well to mobile platforms. If you want to get into something similar to this, Tai Chi Panda is probably the way to go. This is more strictly one direction that you go in levels. They're very linear, and there's not a whole lot of twists and turns to it, whatnot. So here again, we can see some gear that's going to be an upgrade, but breaks a set bonus, but that's okay. And again, the might is going up. So we're going to salvage some stuff over here. And you can do multiple salvages, so if your inventory has been getting out of control for a little bit, you can do multiples like this. And salvaging never fails. There's not anything. It's like, oh, failed to salvage or whatnot. See, here, I'm going to keep this Trollish helmet around because it is the same tier as what I have. And if potentially I get a Trollish set down the line, it may make sense to power this up and switch. You can't tell because I have a cosmetic suit on over here. Not something that I purchased. I don't remember how I got it, but here is your materials. So how this was on Facebook at the time was, it was really, really enjoyable, except I had gotten to a point where it was just so hard to pass the levels. And it felt like the difficulty curve spiked badly, and it became nearly impossible to go through stuff without chugging health pots all the time. And it just became incredibly tough. So the game kind of went flat on me for a little bit. You know, I was playing, but I think I had begun to get a little ticked at the game. But here you can see that I'm going back to a level that I did. It was one that I didn't 3-star. So I'm going to try to get a 3-star on this. That tree looked way more intimidating than he actually was. And depending on what way you hit your abilities, you get combos out of it. And they're named combos. Let's see if they... It used to give you a list. Okay, here you go. So like Odin's Rage, all light attack. Stonebreaker, all heavies. Hildeberg, reversal, light heavy. Charged attack, hold the heavy. Slide into a light. So you can find out what your move list is, and we'll try an example of some over here. And see, there's that H meter. It's all ready, but I've lost no health, I've lost no mana. There's no reason to cash out right now. And he just got pummeled. So, if you do have levels that you have not 3-starred and you know you've increased your gear since you've gone there, just go back and finish it off. Because you do get some decent loot. And even if it's not stuff that's an upgrade, you can always disassemble it and get gold and upgrade pieces. Plus, there is actually a quest to go back and do old stuff. I may have done it already, but there is something that is like, you know, going back is a good thing to do. Go back to some of your old levels. And since that worked out pretty well, we'll see if we could 3-star this. Stamina hasn't been too much of an issue for me, but then again, I have not really pushed it, where I've just played it, and been like, oh, I really need some stamina. For the most part, that doesn't happen too often to me in my mobile games, other than when Marvel Future Fight was having the Asgardian event going on. There was a lot of things consuming my energy there, and that did start to run my energy out. Now, mostly your common mobs are not going to be too bad of a threat. The ones that usually can knock you out of combos either have a wind-up animation like these green guys, or they tend to be very tall. And it's usually those Draugrs, the undead Viking ghosts and everything that have a really good chance of just taking your hits. Yeah, see, I got reset on that one. Jumping leads to a very rapid fury of light attacks when you do it. And it used to be on the Facebook version that you could just basically hover in the air and just attack away on somebody. See, as you can see there, even though that was a ground attack, I still got hit by jumping it. The best part is to just dodge it. Get out of the way. So that should be a 3-star now. Cool. So the whole first zone, that's the other one. One of the other characters you're going to get is her. And she basically has a wisp that she throws out in front of her, and that's how she gets her range. And there are some others now. Oh, okay, so yeah, there's one of them. The other girl. I think there's 2 males and 2 females now. And also you could go through tutorials to get the real life currency item, which is the shards. And that is actually something I haven't done, so I haven't gone through all of this yet. So, I mean, it looks like you could get close to about 100 shards by going through those tutorials. I wish I could see the list of other heroes. Yeah, I was hoping that there would be some way that I could see, maybe leaderboard will show some different heroes. Wow, everybody's... Chrono? It's not letting me click on... Ah, here we go. So here's another guy who's got a sword. And a kind of a robotic arm. Reminds me of a character at a torchlight, honestly. I think this is... So this is the girl. The hooded girl that has the wisp. And as you can see, you get some pretty advanced looking gear. I mean, that's an evil looking wisp over there. She was the other one that was available during the Facebook era. And this is one of the other new character here. I believe she's a caster with a staff. That is a Love Boat looking outfit over there. That is really interesting. So there she is with her Santa outfit. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Evie from Vindictus, who was a caster but also physically skilled in the staff. The staff was as much as a weapon as it was a conduit for her spells. Let me see if I can find one more of the original Facebook. So here's a Christmas version of the girl with the wisp. As you can see, gear gets up to 5 stars and looks pretty badass there. So there are the 4 characters. I think when you go through all the intro stuff in the game, you get introduced to them. You can go ahead and Google the APK now, so just search for Chronoblade APK, Chronoblade space APK. And just be careful, you make sure you go to a legitimate site for it. And you can start playing it. And if Marvel Future Fight, or excuse me, Marvel Avengers Alliance 2, And DC Legends was any indicator you're not going to lose your progress when things go live. But if you just Google Chronoblade, you'll get taken to the site where you can pre-register and get some rewards when the game goes live. And in all honesty, his cash shop really doesn't seem too bad. I might get those two beginner intro things, but I'm probably going to hold off until this game actually goes live in the States. So, thanks for checking out Chronoblade, and keep tabs on it. Hopefully you'll get notified when it comes out. Peace out, everybody.